Hello and hi. Today I want to share to you guys about vector and scalar in game. First of all, I will introduce my name. My name is Nur Aina Rabiha binti Muhammad Taib. My team members is Nurlena binti Nur Azam, Muhammad Hakimi bin Kasni, and Muhammad Anas Wafi bin Muhammad Aizan. Our lecturer's name is Miss Inta Faradina binti Zaini. Course code is DBM 10013. Introduction of vector and scalar in game. Physics is all about math, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that the application of physics to a game involve many mathematical structures. We will be discussing 2 of 3 structures in this section, scalars and vector. If you are not a math teacher, don't worry. The names may be intimidating, but they represent concepts that any programmer is familiar with, whether they know it or not.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Noor Azam. My metric number 01DGU21F2019. Today, I want to present about Scalar. Scalar is basically a single value like 10, 159 or 2.47. For those of you that are a bit rusty with math on a theoretical level, a scalar is analogous to a single variable in action script. Defining a variable like x can only hold a single value, such as the ones listed above. The sum coins for scalar. A vector, on the other hand, represents multiple values called components. The number of components a given vector represents is referred to as its dimensions. So, for example, a two-dimension vector represents 2 components. A 3D vector represents 3 components, and so on. Because of this, a scalar can also be referred to as the 1D vector, since both terms refer to the representation of a single value. The 2 components of a 2D vector are often drawn off as magnitude and direction, which allows such a vector to attempt from the origin of a 2D coordinate system to any distance, so based on its magnitude in any direction. The values are very handy when working with more complicated physics. You can add them, subtract them, and even scalar them. This can help you figure out things such as the physics involved in a simple game of pool. Let's say you were programming a game of pool and you need to know in which direction the ball should roll after it collides with other ball. Vector can help you determine the physics involved in 2 billiard balls colliding without the use of vector. Your pool game could end up looking quite unrealistic.
Speed is a scalar value that represents the rate at which an object moves relative to some defined reference point. That sounds a bit geeky, so I will restate it. Speed is the rate of change from point A to B. Speed is measured in meters per second. In video game, you will have to measure speed in pixels per frame or something else that you could use to imitate the metric system. Hi, my name is Muhammad Anas Wafi bin Muhammad Aizan, and my matrix number is 01DGU21F2025. Today I want to explain about velocity. Velocity is a vector that can be represented by a direction and the scalar value speed. Once you combine speed and direction, you have a velocity value that is also measured in meters per second. It is possible to plan out a direction path with vectors. This means that you can even store how fast an object will be going on each vector segment. There are two things that we want you to notice about this listening. You can find the code within the movie clip. You can reverse the velocity in the program.
The example of reversing vector. Vector values are very handy when working with more complicated physics. You can add them, subtract them, and even scale them. This can help you figure out things such as the physics involved in a simple game of pool. Let's say you were programming a game of pool and you need to know which direction the ball should react after it collides with another ball. Vectors can help you determine the physics involved in two billiards ball colliding. Without the use of vector, your pool game could end up looking quite unrealistic. Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hakimi bin Kasmi. My matrix number is 01DGU21F2024 and I am from class DGU1A. I will tell you guys about acceleration. Acceleration is another vector quantity, but it's a bit deeper and harder to understand. It's the rate of change of velocity. This is why it's measured in meter per second square. For the example of graph acceleration, the difference between a generic object with acceleration and another without. Each of the object has its own code. The one with the acceleration was extracted. Question 1. Find the magnitude and unit vector for r equal to I minus 3j plus 2k. To find the magnitude, we need to use this formula. R equal square root x square plus y square plus z square. R equal to square root 2 square plus minus 3 square plus 2 square. And after we calculated it, we get the answer is 4.123. To find the unit vector of R, we need to use this formula. R divided by the magnitude of R. R equal 2I minus 3j plus 2k divided by the magnitude of R, and after we calculated it, we get the answer is 0.485I minus 0.727j plus 0.485k.
Conclusion, mathematics is the fundamental tool for the development of video games. In addition to vector calculus, many other areas of mathematics have an indispensable role. In the most interesting games, the characters are immersed in a scene that tries to simulate the real world. To make the behavior of character of the game realistic, it is necessary to simulate the laws of physics and thus to solve complex mathematical equations. The computing of the trajectory of an aircraft, the driving of car at a high speed, the descent along a snow track, the jump of an obstacle would not be possible without the aid of mathematical tools. Reference: www.gameludier.com and second, flylib.com.